got 24 tips to help you have an amazing night at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. But there is one tip I think helps anchor them all and give you the right expectations to have a great night. How do I know these tips work? I've used them at 2 different after hours events that were sold out and they worked. Even though this time I had an unexpected ending and a couple hiccups, I still think that my night was amazing and I want you to have the same experience. So let's get into the video. What's up, y'all? I'm Sheeta J, and I know I am normally a TikTok content creator, but after my long hiatus, I decided to take a stab at YouTube again. So let's go ahead and get into this content though. Okay, the big tip that I was telling you guys about that will help you have the best night at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, even if it's crowded and a sold out night, is by doing these 3 things. 1, setting realistic expectations, which I hope this video and vlog will help you to do. 2, set 3 to 4 priorities for the night. And 3, be flexible. Now, when we're talking about priorities, I'm talking about doing 1 or 2 things. You can either set priorities for the night by setting 3 must-do individual activities, or you can choose 3 priority categories from the things that are offered at the party for the night. Here's an example for both. The first one, if you want to do 3 must-do activities, that can look like, I have to meet Jack and Sally, I have to ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and I have to watch the Boo to You parade. Those things are completely feasible, weather permitting, of course, and you should be able to get a lot of other things done with that too. But you're not overwhelming yourself is the point. The second option that you can do is pick 3 priority categories. That would look something like, we want to ride as many rides as we can, we want to get as much candy as we can, and we really want to see the fireworks. Those things also are doable. You should be able to do extra things too, like stop and get a magic shot or meet a villain along the way if their line is short. The point is to not overwhelm your schedule with saying, we're going to ride all the rides, get all the treat trails, meet all the characters, watch every fireworks show, just so that you can get all the money's worth out of your time. It's not possible, okay? Pick a few priorities or a few must-do things and then allow the night to surprise you. Also have a backup plan. That is very important. Now, if you're saying, Rashida, what even is the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party? Basically, it is an exclusive after hours event held from August 9th to October 31st on select nights. The tickets range from $119 to $199 a night plus tax. That's also included. We went the first night and we paid $149 per person plus tax. Now, this is different than a normal park day. You are going to be able to enter the park at 4, but normal park guests have to leave at 6 p.m. The party starts officially at 7 and it ends at midnight. This party has exclusive foods, ride overlays, characters that you're not going to see during the normal park day. It is really a special shows. It's really a fun and a unique way to experience Magic Kingdom. Okay, last thing before we get into the vlog and the other tips. Here are some tips from the beginning of the video that I had to refilm. 1, do not get overwhelmed by the crowds. This is a mistake that I made as a veteran park goer. I've been going to the parks for almost 20 years and I made this mistake. It is probably going to feel people-y and you may feel overwhelmed by that. However, don't let that make you make bad or weird decisions. Stick to your priority and your plan and you'll be fine. Second tip before we get into the vlog is you want to decide on your arrival time based on your priorities. Don't just get to the park because everybody said get there at 4. You'll be walking around trying to figure out what to do. In my case, it was good because I was content creating, so it was fine. But in your case, if you're not there to get the Winnie sipper or to be first in line to meet Jack and Sally, you do not need to be there at 4 necessarily. You may want to wait and miss that big old line trying to get into the park for 4 o'clock and come at 5:30 or 6. That is also acceptable too. But if you do want the Winnie sipper, you need to be there well before 4 o'clock. Let me make that clear. Be there well before 4. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to show up at 4 o'clock. You can show up at 5 or 5:30 and have a great time. That's what happened to me, and I had a great time. Now that we've gone through all of those tips, let's get right into the video. We are at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. In true fashion of every first night of the party, it is raining. So prepare for rain. Stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready. Once the rain lets up and I show y'all my fit, I'm going to show y'all everything that I can get my hands on to help you have a good time at the Halloween party. If you're interested in getting a guide and a planning sheet, go ahead and click the link below so that you can get that. Let's go boo this. I'll show y'all my outfit. Quick fit check. Still raining. Got the Jesus Love You Holy Ghost. Goes with me wherever I go. That's just me. I'ma just be me. Other than that, I'm keeping it real simple. Biker shorts, Nikes at the bottom, party wristband. Okay, my next tip that I have is merchandise. I said I'm gonna wait until things kind of die down to get my candy bag, and then I'll go look at the merch. I'll show y'all where I thought the merch line was. It was not there, okay? The merch line actually wrapped around further into the Emporium. They told me there was a line that was already formed, apparently, and then we just added on to the line. The line moved pretty quickly. You meet people in the line that you could talk to and things like that. So it wasn't a fact of it being long and drawn out. It's just I didn't know where the line was. So make sure you know where the line is. Don't be like me and standing at the front of the line thinking that you're gonna get in. The reason that the line is so long is because they anticipate some merch to sell out. Now, the only merch that I saw that was kind of starting to sell out were the pins. Everything else was still there, but there were an array of a bunch of different pins that people were getting. And of course, they're a cheaper item too. That's why people are in that line. Okay, that's all I learned so far. I'm gonna put on my poncho in case this rain decides to pick back up again. It seems to be done, I'm not sure, but I'm going to get my poncho on and then I'll go get a park bag and tell you guys what my intentions are for the night.
What you want to do? So we're the first parade is at 8:15. And you want to go on that first parade? That's here. Is that a kiss? Don't I? Yes. Someone ask me how I am. How are you? Miserable, darling. Perfectly wretched as usual. Can you imagine? Oh. Well, you know, what happened to your pants?
That massive amount of people are all going for their treat bags, which is crazy.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, tonight's event is sold out. If you would like to attend another party night, please visit Guest Relations located at City Hall in Town Square.
Look at who I ran into. We love to see the melanin in the pod. Love it. I'm still a sweaty hot mess, but ran into some girls that I know from TikTok. I'll put their handles below so you guys can follow them. Yeah, it's been really interesting so far. The party hasn't started officially yet, so I'm trying to see like what to get into because I don't, it's my first party, so I'm trying to, see what I can get into. I think I'm gonna wait for the food for later. I'm gonna see how long the wait is for People Mover because that's one of the rides I wanted to do tonight, and kind of think through my plan. Now let's talk about what to do between 4 and 7 p.m. Now, myself being a newbie to this party, and also with this being the first party of the year, it was kind of difficult to decide what to do during that hour because I didn't have an example to go off of. Thankfully, you do have some insight of what to do during that time. But one thing I could have done to avoid that kind of questioning was going through the map. It is highly suggested to go through the map and study it, come up with a plan. If you enter the turnstiles at 4 o'clock, get you a map, sit down, sit with your people and see, okay, these are our priorities. How are we going to execute it with what is on this map? Figure out where things are because Magic Kingdom is huge. And if you don't come up with a plan and priorities in place prior to actually roaming the park, you will miss some things. Here's a list of some things that you could do between that 4 and 7 p.m. period so that you're not wasting your time. These things will be listed on the planning worksheet that you can download for free in the description.
Greetings, intergalactic travelers. Welcome aboard the People Mover.
This is Starport 75.
Or as we locals call it, Space Mountain. Our high-speed rocket point to distant deep space destinations.
Are we stopped?
Let relaxation wash over you at the most refreshing retreat in the galaxy, the coral moons of Pisces 7. You H2 owe it to yourself. Book today.
Nothing like a ride on a people mover to help me think. My intentions tonight are these. I am creating content, so that is something that I'm doing. I do want to ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure at night. My other ride was People Mover, so we just finished that. The wait might have been 10 minutes, so that was good. I want to watch all of the shows if possible and get some treats and some food. I'm gonna do treats at the end of the night. I don't really feel like walking through treat trails right now. I'm gonna get my food once my husband's done with treat trails. So we'll do that, and I'll show you guys what we're eating. I am near Tron, so I'm gonna figure out what the standby line is about. A couple things that are different about this party. One, they said they have Roman villains. Now, the only one that I've seen was Cruella de Vil, which you guys probably saw earlier. The others, I'm not sure what they are, but I'm excited to run into them, whoever they are. Another thing that is different is that the rides that are usually virtual queue are standby only. I don't know if y'all can tell by the lines that are behind me, but this feels like a park day. And it's sold out. So there are a lot of people here. There are so many people here. And I've been to a sold out party before and it felt similar. But I'm making that point because with the virtual queue being gone, if someone decided they wanted to stand in line, how long are they going to stand in it? You see what I'm saying? So that is why I'm going to go and figure out the ride situation there and see what's going on with the line. Because you could potentially use your entire party night just standing in line. And so those are the things I wanted to point out before I got ready to get up and go. Let's go over to Tron and see what's going on, and hopefully by that time my husband's done getting treats so we can get some food. Let's talk about treats really quickly before we move on to talking more about rides. Now, once you pick up your treat bag or candy bag before 8 p.m., because that's when that area closes, you're going to get one initial thing of candy. It's some new M&M every year. It's really cool to see what the different varieties are each year. But once you get that, you're going to see inflatable signs going throughout the park showing you where the other treat or candy trails are. Now, in theory, all of the treat or candy trails should open at 7 p.m. But there was one part in the video earlier where my husband went through a treat trail and it was just before 7 p.m. I have heard that some trails open 10 minutes before the party starts. That's not guaranteed, but it's something to keep in mind, especially if you see a line that's moving and people are coming out with candy. If you want candy at that time, go ahead and hop in line and get the candy. Now, should you get the candy at the beginning of the party or at the end of the party? My husband said candy came with admission, so I'm gonna get all the candy I can get when it's available, which is right now. For myself, I decided to get the candy at the end of the night because I didn't want to carry around a big bag of candy all day. At the end of the night, is it gonna stop at midnight or 11?
We stop when we're closed, like event closes.
Oh, okay.
Letting
so
people in.
Letting people in. So they'll still let people in up until 12.
Yes.
Very good, thank you. Currently the wait for Tron, she said it's about 45, 50-ish minutes. And the party just started at 7 o'clock. I'm gonna wait for my husband to get out of this treat trail and then get something to eat. Here are all of the rides that are available during the Halloween party. Now, as stated earlier in this video, every single line for every ride is standby only for the Halloween party. Now, I have seen Tiana and Tron being at a 40 to 60 minute wait. Sometimes it's listed as a 50-minute wait, and I've heard people saying they only waited 20 minutes. Sometimes it's listed as a 60-minute wait, and it is a 60-minute wait. But you're going to want to prioritize what's most important to you and make sure you manage your time well with the party with that. You'll see one other reason for that later in the video. Enjoying himself. What you got in there? Oh, you got a lot of the Skittles. Okay. Uh-oh.
You know, just a little light work.
Light work. Light work. Light work.
Light work. That's just how we do it around here. We get that candy.
So yeah, apparently that's how we do it, is we get the candy.
Yeah.
We get the candy. So I'm gonna order directly from Cosmic Rays, but you can do mobile order on a lot of things here. But in order to charge it to my room, I believe, I have to pay for it in person. So we're gonna see about that and find that out, and then I'll show you guys what we ate. Editing Rashida. I am re-recording my review for this burger and the witch fingers over for a couple of reasons. Mainly is because of this burger. Now you can read the descriptions of what it is, but this burger I later found out was not a crowd favorite, and I understand why. It was actually very dry, but also greasy. So I didn't want y'all looking at my face with all the grease on, which is why I re-recorded it. I would grade that a C. If you don't know, I used to teach, so I'll be grading things. Next are these witch fingers. I actually really like these. Now, this is a love-hate thing. I like these a lot. And I took them to my husband and he said they were repulsive. But you'll find out about my husband. He's really hard on grading and ranking things. So I grade it like a B+. He would grade it an F-. But like I said, this is one you love it or hate it. Now let's talk really quickly about the dance parties and the character meet and greets. As far as the dance parties, you see me in this video tip in and tip out. You definitely want to stick around a lot longer than what I stuck around. Don't get there and stay there for 30 seconds and be like, this is whack, and then leave, because I promise you there were some really exciting things that happened during the party. I don't know if they prioritize those things at the beginning of the party or later in the party, but I do know if I stuck around a lot longer, I would have saw some cool things. For example, when I was at Cosmic Rays during that dance party that's hosted in that area, Timon was dancing with kids and it was really cool. Had I stayed around the Descendants dance party for a little longer, I would have watched through the trivia round that they were doing as kind of a pre-party thing, and then saw the Descendants dance crew come out and dance, which was also really cool. So there are a couple of cool things that are there. Just make sure you're sticking around and giving it a chance. Give it a chance. If you want to know what's coming up next, maybe find a cast member and ask them how they're going to organize a set for the night, and you can plan accordingly. Now, as far as character meet and greets, you definitely want to take that map and study it so you know what characters you're going to want to meet, and stand in line for those meet and greets. Some of those lines start at 4 o'clock. Just keep that in mind. The only thing that you're not going to know when the wait time starts for are for the roaming villains. That's what I call it, because that's what I thought they were going to be, but that's not technically what they are. But the villains, the extra villains that were supposed to be for the party, those you're not going to have the wait times for. You just have to know what areas they're in. So for Corella, she's at the party entrance where you go backstage down the area where they have the DJ. Evil Queen and Maleficent are up front. Editing Rashida back again, because Maleficent and Evil Queen are not up front at the train station like they were for the first and the second night for the party. They actually moved them to Princess Fairytale Hall. There is a treat trail there, and you can meet them or take a quick selfie with them in the line. It's not an official meet and greet. You have to kind of like walk past them, take a quick selfie. You can interact with them a little bit, kind of like what they do at Oogie Boogie Bash, and then you go through the treat trail. So keep that in mind if you want to meet these villains. Gaston hangs out by his tavern. So as stated, just know where they are and plan accordingly. Going back to the characters that you know are going to be meeting and know are going to have lines, like Jack and Sally, Mickey, Minnie, Daisy, Donald, and Goofy, Stitch, Ariel and Eric was another popular one. Pooh and his friends dress up in their super cute outfits. All of those are really popular meet and greets, and some of those lines last for a very long time. So you may want to play it by ear. I have heard this year a lot of Jack and Sally, their wait time getting shorter by the end of the night, but I wouldn't bank on that for sure, because a lot of people are learning these tips and they're implementing it, and things are changing because of that. starting to get dark. I need to talk to my husband and see where he's at. But there was so much going on in Tomorrowland. I kind of just lived there, honestly. Ate there, saw some characters there. I didn't meet any, but just saw them. And so I said, let me make my way over to Fantasyland and see what's going on. So we're checking out what's over here. I saw there are 2 meet and greets. I'm really looking for these roaming villains. The only one I've seen is Cruella. And so once I go into Storybook Circus, I'm gonna see what they have going on there. And then I'm gonna make my way over to where my husband should be, which I think he's on the other side of Fantasyland. I walked around some more. I did have a cast member allow me to have the allergy bag. I don't plan on using it. I said I want to just take pictures of it and give it back to you, but she said you can have it. I might go and see what the allergy snacks are. I don't want to take any, but I did want this to just show you if you have an allergy, you can pick up an allergy bag. Spotted Gaston, and the line is short. I'm gonna meet Gaston. So his line was closed. I can't meet him. That's okay. I've been wanting to meet Gaston for a minute. But in case, I know that he's over here, so.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
Make sure it all gets in there.
Wave your slash. It's going on in a flash.
Gather round and I'll elucidate on what goes on outside when it gets late. Along about midnight, the ghosts and banshees get together for their nightly jamborees. There's things with horns and saucer eyes, and some with fangs about this size. Some are fat, and some are thin, and some don't even wear their skin. I'm telling you, it's a frightful sight to see what goes on out on Halloween night. When the spooks have a midnight jamboree, they break it up with fiendish glee. Ghosts are bad, but the one that's cursed is the headless horseman. He's the worst. That's right, he's a fright on a Halloween night. I was able to get over to Tiana's Bayou Adventure and ask them how long the queue is going to open. And just like Tron, the queue will be open until midnight. So that means I might try at the end of the night after the parade. I think I'm going to come after the parade and try to ride it. I don't know if Eric's going to be able to do it with me because I don't want him to be too tired. Now I need to get over to the castle show because it has started and I missed it. Might have missed the whole thing. All right, y'all, I'm tapped out. I'm not done yet, but I'm resting. If you haven't heard this tip yet, do not take the day of the Halloween party to go to a park. Don't make that a park day. Just do the Halloween party at night. It is not for the weak. You might be tired afterward. In my defense, I booked this party and fully planned on resting the morning of the party, which is why we're staying at Pop Century Resort. However, Disney decided to switch up Lightning Lane, and I needed to understand it more for my clients and experience it for myself. And so, with that being said,
I had to use the morning to do a little bit of research. I didn't do a whole lot because I really needed to rest. The fireworks are about to start, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm sitting on the bench that leads to Fantasyland. So if you're in my predicament, these benches are pretty empty, and I'm guessing it's because the fireworks are going to start and people really want to be in front of the castle, and I don't blame them. For me personally, I don't know how much of the fireworks I'm going to watch from the castle. I'm just being honest. I'll probably watch a lot of it here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to move around and actually get to the castle, but we'll see how it works. After this, I'm going to watch the parade in Frontierland, and then we'll try to do Tiana's.
It's time now to take our friends on a Halloween adventure. One and one,
This is so good. This is the Dole Whip with chamoy and tahini. 10 out of 10, baby. 10 out of 10. It is so good. It tastes like a Lucas Pop. If you've ever had one of those, that's what this tastes like. A Lucas Pop. It is so good. All right, y'all. I am looking at Tiana's Adventure, and we're on like a itty bitty little piece of stump across the way from Tiana's, right where the parade route starts. We got the seat about 30 minutes out from the last parade, so it wasn't bad. Eric held the seats, and I was really concerned because if you see where we're at, it's right here on the ground, and there's no yellow tape. I wish there were a better way I could show you, but they're like pushing people out of the parade route, as they should. But there's no yellow tape on the floor, which I was like, okay, so am I supposed to be here? There's no rope, there's no yellow tape. But they said it should be fine. And I have a worker right in front of me. She hasn't shooed us away. It's a perfect little spot for 2 people, but not a whole family. A little further down is enough for a whole family. But this is the Stone Steps by Pecosville. So if you're looking for a nice little spot to watch it from the night parade, this was nice. I like it. My feet are resting. I don't feel like chopping off my feet currently because that was the issue earlier. I was so tired. But yeah, I'm entertaining going live on TikTok, if not for the whole parade, maybe just some of it. We'll see how it goes. I haven't been on TikTok in forever. So I was just like, I'm gonna just show up. Just show up. Surprise.
He's the bringer of Halloween fear. Beware, the headless horseman is here.
But live every minute for all that's in it, the life of a
fancy popcorn.
Look who I ran into. The lighting is so bad, but look who I ran into. Hey, y'all follow. I put her handles here. So, as you can see, I did not get on Tiana's at night. And that is because if you paid attention during the parade clips that I showed y'all earlier, the logs actually stopped running just about when the parade started. And I actually kind of thought that they were just pausing for the parade. I was like, well, maybe they just stopped during the parade so you don't constantly hear screaming in the background. I said, that's kind of weird, but maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. It just turned out that the ride went down, which really sucked for me because I wasn't able to ride Tiana's at night. But I rode it 2 times during the day, so a win is a win. But I say that so you can keep that in mind. Also, if you're prioritizing Tiana's, know that it is not exempt from going down during the Halloween party. It has gone down before that. It could and very well may go down during the Halloween party. The ride went down so late at night, it wasn't really a chance of it coming back up, which was fine. I actually heard at midnight that there were still people stuck on there. Yeah, so just keep in mind that Tiana's may go down and plans may change. So get a backup plan or plan to ride Tiana's as early as possible. 6 p.m. is probably an ideal time to get in line for that. I heard that's the earliest that you can get in line for Tiana's because it is after day guests are done with their virtual queues. And I've also heard of guests that got there at 6 o'clock. They were on and off the ride by like 6:30. So it might be a good option for you. As I close this video out, let me give you a couple tips according to your priorities. If rides are priority for you, have a backup plan. Know the average wait times for these rides. You can easily go into some Facebook groups and search the name of your favorite ride, and I'm pretty sure it'll come up with a wait time. If it hasn't, then you can ask people in that group how long the average wait time for such and such ride is. But if you're prioritizing rides, make sure that you're prioritizing that along with 1 or 2 other things so that you can maximize your night and get as many rides as you can done. The people that I've seen do 10 to 12 rides a night only had rides and maybe 1 or 2 other things as priorities for the night. They didn't try to do everything. So keep that in mind. If you're prioritizing food, in my opinion, I would wait until 7 p.m. to start getting some of those orders in. I think all of the party food is available at 7 p.m. If you've gone to the party, what are some tips that you have for food? Let me know in the comments below. One other tip I have for food, it seems that Disney is really pushing new foods and sit-down restaurants during the party. The problem with me for that is if you are going to sit-down restaurants during the party, that is going to eat up a good hour and a half, 2 hours of party time. You paid a lot of money to get into that party, and you're going to pay a lot of money at those sit-down restaurants. To me, that's a cash grab from Disney, and I don't suggest that. Spend your party time elsewhere and don't spend that extra money sitting down at sit-down restaurants. If you're prioritizing characters, I say it is a good idea to prioritize 1 to 2 characters, the really big characters that you want to meet. And if you meet any more than that, praise the Lord. Hallelujah. But definitely just prioritize 1 or 2 because you can easily spend your whole party night just waiting in line for characters, which if you want to do that, I think that's a great idea to do. But again, I don't know if that's the best use of the money that you spent for your ticket, unless that is just something you've always wanted to do in life. And if it is, you do you. If you're like me and prioritizing entertainment, I say you can definitely get a lot of your entertainment done, if not all the entertainment done during the party. I think that is totally possible. If you saw me A lot of the party, I feel like I was either walking around creating content or sitting down. And if I was able to enjoy most of the entertainment during the night, I think you can too. I would say that I enjoyed at least 80, 85% of the entertainment. So I think it's very feasible to prioritize shows and do a solid 2 other things for the night, whether that be taking magic shots, meeting another character, or hitting up a few rides, getting some food. I totally think that's feasible. Just make sure you're going through that party map. And if you're prioritizing staying through the entire party, don't be like me and go to the park during the day. Stay your butt in the bed, stay your butt at the resort, stay out of the sun because the sun will drain you too. But take the time to rest and enjoy the party night so that you can maximize those hours between 4 and midnight. If you have littles, make sure they're taking naps during the day. If you can, keep it really chill. For the last tip, I just want to reiterate again, do not be intimidated by any crowds that you may see. If it is a sold out night and it feels really peoply, don't think immediately you're going to have a terrible night. I can promise you, you can still get a lot done if you keep a positive attitude, have your priorities set in place, get some rest at the beginning of the day. You can have an amazing night. I've done it twice at a sold out party. You know what? I just thought about it. I've done it twice and both times in the rain, which is crazy. So it's totally possible to have a really good night. I think that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching this far. If you haven't already, go ahead and download the planning worksheet below. It's in the description. I thank you guys so much for joining me during this video. If you are bored and want to continue watching my wonderful personality, check out my TikTok or check out some of the old videos on my channel. It's giving very much nostalgia. Some of the tips actually still work. Or click around somewhere on the screen and check out a new video that I have up. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.